everyone, and welcome to the Back 40 Feet, where we talk about suburban, urban, and patio gardening. So it is 1 week before the last frost date, and there's a polar vortex that is now scheduled to arrive here in New England all the way down to Georgia for the weekend. And this is why it's really important that no matter how beautiful it seems out during the spring, there's a reason that there is a last frost date. So I have to do some work to get my plants protected that have already been outside. So I thought now would be a good time to talk about how to protect your plants when weather's coming. The first thing I just want to mention is that it's not so much even the cold that's going to hurt the plants. It's going to be frost or anything that's frozen because it burns the leaves. So we have snow forecast and frost. So I'm going to have to really protect anything that is outside from having any precipitation from falling on it. And I can use my season extenders for that, and I can also use some plastic bags. So the first thing I did was this. Anything that I still had in pots, I have now brought into my very crowded shed here. So any tenders, I've got a fig plant over there. So even though it's going to get cold in here, the plants are going to be protected from that ice, and they should be fine. It probably would be unlikely to get below 30 in here, so I think that they're going to be okay. The other thing I'm going to do is good old-fashioned water bottles. So this is a really great way to extend your season. Is you fill up a bunch of plastic water bottles, make sure you have enough space on the top that if this freezes it can expand. And I'm going to put these in my season extenders and underneath what I'm going to make as row tunnel covers. And what happens is that the warmth from the bottle, once the temperature drops, releases. It almost acts like a heater, and I'll be able to provide some heat to the plants overnight. What can happen during the daytime is that when the sun hits this, it will warm up the water, and then at night as it cools down, it releases that heat. So it's been really cloudy here today. I do not have any sun that's been able to heat up these bottles. So I have filled these up with hot water, and I'm going to put them out into my season extenders. So hopefully they could at least help a little bit with that. And then I don't have any plastic row covers, but what I do have is just good old-fashioned cut up plastic bags that I'm going to put over my plants. I'm going to be fine if it's just 2 days, 3 days at most, that these plants aren't going to get direct sunlight. The bigger thing is I got to get them through the polar vortex. So these are the first few steps. Is I have my water bottles dispersed amongst my seedlings, and I've made some structures. I'm just using some spare chicken wire so that I can provide some structure to put the plastic bags onto, and also if we do get snow, it's not going to collapse them. And then over here, these are lined up. I'll put the season extender back over there. Here's just some more wire, and then in the back here, I'm just using some plant supports for my tomatoes. I have them lying on the ground to just use the frame to provide some structure for the bags that I have seedlings under there, so we'll see. So there we have it, the plastic bags on there. Not pretty, but functional. I'll use the plastic bags for some other project. I'm not bothering to cover up the kale because it overwintered and it survived the winter. It should be able to survive a snowstorm, but everything else is as covered as it's going to get. So we'll see how this all ends up after the storm's over. So the forecast has gotten a little bit more grim, so I've since now taken my lettuce and brought them back into the basement because they've only been outside for about 2 or 3 days, and that's not really enough time to harden off. But I've left my kales. They've been out already for about a couple weeks now, and the broccoli and the cauliflower that are in my flower boxes, I put one of my season extenders over even in the shed to just try to give them just a little bit more insulation so it's not going to be quite a shock. So the polar vortex is gone 2 days later. We got down about 32 at night, and I just uncovered my plants, and you can see they survived. We did get a dusting of snow in the midst of all of that, but even the kale has survived, and everything that's in my season extenders. So hopefully that was our last close call, and can just start looking forward to summer planting.